So going into now, put all those old things away. Now we've been in Zirconia pretty much full time since I would say 2019 or so. So 6 years personally.
Yeah.
And it's been around a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
The main reason why we waited personally to jump into Zirconia was, one, we were trying to figure out if nanoceramic could work in some way, fashion. And second, so that Zirconia, we were talking about this on the way in. I saw a video this week of the first Zirconia we ever did in Jacksonville, and I almost can't even watch the interview. I won't say his name because he's probably running on some ad somewhere or something, but I can barely tolerate looking at it because it literally looks like a piece of chalk. And why don't you explain to the listeners why that is, because we talked about that a little bit on the way in.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, the way that Zirconia has changed in its formulation here kind of recently has allowed it to offer some translucency like our natural teeth have. And when you don't have that translucency, you just have a flat, white, lifeless looking teeth. So because here recently they've been able to I'm pretty sure it's a manufacturing process that has allowed this translucency to happen in Zirconia. So it's a lot more lifelike now than it was before.
The possibilities are endless, and that typically happens when attention goes to something, right? When you get away from, when we got away from flip phones, the smartphone market went crazy, and I'm sure screen costs went down. Everything went down because there's so many people jumping in, and there's so much attraction to that portion of the industry. Likewise, and similarly in Zirconia, when that became a need and it kind of became the hot trend, our costs obviously came down some, but the manufacturer started spending more money on making the pucks thick enough was the main thing. Mm-hmm. The pucks that we could get that were thick enough didn't have the technology to have the translucency down at the bottom.
Right.
And so you couldn't get any sort of translucency shades. You could only get these very opaque, chalky shades.
Right.
You could for crowns, and there's some scientific specifics in terms of why the translucency works, but it's a manufacturing thing. Mm-hmm. And so now you can get very thick pucks that can handle almost anybody's height of teeth for a hybrid at an affordable cost with really good look.
Right.
So now you get the strength out of it, the look out of it, the performance out of it. We're back to one piece. For us specifically, I was so... And there is a restoration in the world right now that's partially vogue, we'll say. It's in vogue.
Okay.
Titanium bar underneath the Zirconia overlay.
Right.
Very similar to the nanoceramic. And that scares the absolute bejesus out of me because I was so burned on the nanoceramic world. Right. So we haven't gone in the foray of anything other than monolithic Zirconia. Yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I haven't even done one because I got burned so badly on the nanoceramic. Because again, you have inflexible brittle material on top of flexible metal. Obviously, it's not going to flex a lot, but you're still relying on cement. There's still materials that don't really go together, and they're still going to flex at different rates. And that scares the crap out of me as being a person that was burned by it.
Yeah, in my opinion, and I'm not a professional, I'm a patient, but it's kind of another, if it's not broken, don't fix it things. If monolithic works so well, what is the alleged benefit of combining two materials?
I have a personal opinion that the industry likes to do the titanium bar. For one, you can get away with some inaccuracies because they're all hooked together. So if they're a little bit less accurate, it doesn't transfer into the zirconia and fracture the zirconia.
Okay.
Which we take care of in our scanners. Right. So we don't, that's not a concern for us. I also have a little bit of a theory that it's almost more cost effective to make a bar than it is to buy the little pieces that go into the zirconia, the inserts. Mm-hmm. And so you have this sort of cheap dentist doing cheap dentist things, trying to figure out what the best mode is a little bit.
Right.
But my theory is mostly that it allows for distribution of the force without directly transferring it into the zirconia through inaccuracies between the implants.
Okay.
That's my biggest sort of theory.
Okay.
Because one of the first zirconias we ever put in probably 2016, 2017, in addition to it didn't look awesome. This might have been the second zirconia we ever did. It was a lady she was going to Hawaii on business or something. I think she was like some sort of traveling nurse.
Okay.
So this lady comes in and she's leaving for Hawaii that day, that afternoon actually. Had been waiting for the zirconia forever, went through all the steps, all of that. And we put it in. And as we put it in, something on the model must have been just a little bit off, tweaked a little bit off. And when we torqued it in, the thing shattered. And you can feel it when you're tightening it in. You can feel it when it happens. It just kind of like, it's almost like I've never had a bone broken, but it feels like what I would imagine like breaking a bone feels. This is like sinking gut feeling like that wasn't good. And so we broke it and she was very upset. But if you have inaccuracies in the implants there, then you're going to have an issue with it seating and going all the way and then also not fracturing as one piece. It doesn't tolerate it being anything other than perfect.
I see.
Which is why a lot of the industry, why we've all kind of gone to these scanners that get much more perfect data.
Right.
Because that perfect data then translates to better files, which translates to more accurate for the passive fit. It's not just passive fit to allow for the implants to heal well. It's also passive fit so that the actual set of teeth don't break on their own.
Sure.
So there's a lot that goes on there.